Hey, welcome everybody back to another episode of the Art of Relationship show. Going to be talking about, this is a huge debate I run into in my office, right where I'm at, okay? A huge debate where there's loyalty over, say, family members, could be mom, dad, grandma, sister, brother, cousin, you name it, versus the spouse or maybe long-term. And I say long-term, girlfriend, boyfriend, because it does make a difference. I'm going to get into this shortly, okay? And I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world today, a lot of horrific stuff going on, and there's a lot of faults, there's a lot of truths out there. We'll get into that another time too, okay? So, don't go anywhere. I'm going to kick off the show right after the intro, okay? Hey, welcome back everybody to the Art of Relationship show. I'm your host as always, Greg Dudzinski. I'm a fully licensed professional counselor, fully licensed here in the state of Michigan in Detroit, Metro Detroit area. And I'm a relationship sex specialist, have been for 23 years now, and I have a lot of grief, a lot of trauma experience as well. I've worked with, I'm not bragging, just throwing out my experience. I've worked with a lot of rape survivors, used to work with severe trauma on kids, abuse, horrific stuff, rape, molestation, all that stuff as well, okay? My aspect is to help people try to heal from heartache, from broken hearts, broken souls, trauma, that aspect. And of course, I've always done relationships, couples, sex counseling as well. And I do the best I can to help people out there, okay? And let's just throw it out there. I hate racism. I hate discrimination against certain groups, certain people. And I know there's certain people out there, certain groups out there that promote isolation, that promote social, if you want to say, social injustices for certain groups out there, which I do not tolerate at all. So there's a lot of bigots, a lot of racist people out there, discriminatory people that pretend to be one thing, but they are not, okay? Let's just get that out of the way. Any questions, as always, you can join in the live chat down below, people. And throw your comments out there. Throw your questions. I'll do the best I can to answer them. And again, this does not replace actual professional counseling I do in my office, okay? Because obviously confidentiality, disclosure forms, HIPAA, all that stuff I can't guarantee outside of this office and the social media format, okay? So just want to let people know, share the live feed excuse me, on your timeline, on your page, wherever you're watching this. I want to help as many people out there as possible, okay? And I like getting challenged, different beliefs, different, trains of thought out there as well. But I go after evidence-based, fact-based situations as well, okay? So that's where I stand. So again, throw your questions, throw your comments down below. A lot of people look at, family aspects. We're raised a certain way. Our mom raised us. If mom and dad were in the picture, if grandma raised us, whoever raised us, and it turns into that I'm going to be loyal to them forever and ever and ever, right? And I tell people there's a difference between being loyal to somebody versus indebted to somebody, okay? And when people get in long-term relationships, get married, get engaged, live together, whatever, okay? I want people happy. And I run into this, if not on a daily basis, I run into this probably every other day right here in my office, okay? Yep, I'm right in my office right behind me, okay? Where there's a lot of people, you know what? I'm not a priority, Greg. I'm not a priority, G. A lot of people call me G, okay? But I'm like, hit me up. What's going on? They don't feel like a priority. They feel like their partner's brother, sister, mom, dad, uncle, aunt, cousin, you name it, best friends are more important than they are. And we'll key in more on the family aspects, okay? Jomo, hey, what's up? Willie, what's going on? Maria, I appreciate everybody tuning in, Landon, what's happening? So this is, I run into this where we'll stick primarily with the best friends. We'll stick with, say, mom, immediate family members, okay? Let's just put that out there. So a lot of people look at, well, it's been my mom my whole life, and they're, maybe mid-20s, even 40 years old, 50 years old. And I get when there's health issues, severe, chronic, life-threatening ailments. I get that. That's going to be different. But I'm talking, well, throw out the health issues outside the realm. And a lot of people will look at, what? Oh, it's been my mom. I'm still loyal to my mom. But then you're always taking mom's side, sister's side, cousin's side. You get me? You're always throwing your partner under the bus. You're talking smack to your mother or family member. We'll just throw that out there. To your husband, to your wife, about your husband, about your wife. My apologies, okay? So a lot of people look at, and they look at, will I ever be that number one person, right? And they have a hard time. I call it enmeshment, if you want to use professional terminology. And I don't use a lot of psychobabble. You watch all my episodes on YouTube, throw it out there, and under Love Guru Greg, excuse me. And there's a huge aspect, out there, and I talk about that. I'm down to earth, I don't use psychobabble. Can I? Absolutely, but I don't. That's not me. So they feel like, well, it's my mom. I can't tell my mom, no, I can't. It's got to be my mom first because she raised me. And we know certain people, they will guilt trip you. They will manipulate you. I'm your mom. I gave birth to you. We look at all these aspects and look at, that you're more loyal to them than you are your husband, your wife, your partner. To me, it doesn't matter. You've been living with someone for 5, 10 years, and you still are more loyal to your mother or your dad, grandma, whatever, than you are to your significant other. And it's very difficult. I get it's hard. I have a lot of empathy, a lot of compassion for most people, and I look at, what causes this, and I get that. I think we're guilt tripped, right? Society, culture, how we're raised, religions, how we're raised, or, we're always supposed to honor our mother and father, whatever. My question is, there's a difference between, again, honoring them than being indebted to them versus, we don't leave the nest and form our own family unit, whatever that entails, right? And I don't care if you're LGBTQ, it doesn't matter. Whatever your family unit is, same sex, same gender, whatever, okay? So looking at, what is it that it's you two against the world type of thing. And I know, if you decide to have kids, whatever, that your family and the household come first over your mother, your father, sister, you get me? And it's very difficult, right? Because a lot of people the guilt trips and the manipulation will be out there, and I understand that. But that's where I tell people, I want you to be empowered and give you the strength to be able to set boundaries and limits against those certain family members, right? And it's very difficult because we've known them longer, our whole life maybe, over our significant other. And it comes to a point, and I said earlier at the very beginning, there's a difference between, you first started dating, you've been dating a month, 2 months. I get that, right? You're still going to be more loyal probably to your family member than that person. But it comes to a point, do they ever earn that level of respect? Do they ever earn that level of loyalty? Okay, and I get that. We're not talking you've been together and they're an abusive spouse, physically, emotionally abusive, dangerous, unhealthy, whatever, toxic, whatever word you want to use. And it's not healthy. We're throwing that out right now, okay? But do they ever learn that respect? And there's a lot of people that end relationships, that end marriages, because they're never at the same level as their mom, their sister, their brother. You get me? They're never put first. They're never put above or in front of those family members. And I get it. I tell people it's not easy at all. And I'd love to know your thoughts out there, people. Throw in the chat down below what your comments are. How many maybe people have experienced this? Maybe you have a hard time setting those boundaries and setting those limits out there. Hey, Norma, what's going on? I appreciate you. Ben, what's happening? Kathy, I appreciate. Thanks so much, people. So a lot of people have a hard time where, you know what? I can't tell my mom this. I can't tell it's my mom, it's my dad. Like they are some supreme being. You got a right to love your mom. I get it. I love my mom and dad. But there's a difference between they don't live your life anymore. Hopefully they raise you to be independent, make your own decision, live your own life. That doesn't mean you forget them. No, not at all. Oops, excuse me, as I take a drink of water. And, I get that. That doesn't, but a lot of people, and a lot of maybe family members out there, they still want to raise you like you're that kid, even though you're, in your mid-20s, late 20s, 30s, 40s. They still want you to be like that little kid and do whatever they tell you, listen to them. You better not defy me. I'm your mom. How could you tell me no? You get me? That's unhealthy, and that's manipulative, and that's them being manipulative, playing games. You get me? Throwing guilt trips out there. However you want to term those definitions, right? However you want to label it. That's exactly what it is from a professional standpoint, okay? So there's a lot of people out there that look at, I'm going to throw that out there. I'm going to throw the guilt trips. I'm going to throw those at you because I know it works, okay? And that's where I want people to understand, you know what? You got a right to stand your ground and cement boundaries in place and not allow them to do that. Am I saying it's easy? I'm not saying it's easy. I tell people I am a realist out there, okay? So, hey, Rose, thank you for joining in. Again, throw your questions out there, people. How many people out there have experienced this with maybe a former partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, maybe a former spouse, maybe your current spouse? Maybe you are one that's having a hard time to tell your mom no at times, to set boundaries. Hey, you know what? It's us now. I appreciate you raising me. I love you, but you raised me to be an adult, to be independent, to live my life, hopefully. But there's some people that, the tech word is, professional word, enmeshment, right? And how many people maybe have never heard of it? It's when, there's unhealthy boundaries where there's there's a lack of separation of identity between, say, two people. It could be daughter and mom, son and mom, dad and daughter, dad and son. You get me? So there's an unhealthy balance where you're not, allowed or given yourself permission to have your own identity, your own family, your own life outside of that family. And it's discouraged, it's manipulated, it's all over even TV shows, right? To throw it out there to give examples. Yeah, it's scripted, but some of them, they give great examples about that, right? Old School, Everyone Loves Raymond, TV show, right? Mom is a great example of that, right? The guilt trip, the manipulation, that she throws on, Raymond, the whole family, right? The guilt trip. Oh, you don't love me. You don't want to see me anymore. And that is unhealthy, and you need to tell them to stop it. Knock it off. You're not going to manipulate. You can say, you know what? I love you, right? Hey, I love you, mom. Love you, dad, sis, brother, whatever. I love you. I get you. You got my heart. However, you need to stop. And it's going to be very difficult because I know because you have 25, 30, 40, whatever years you are that you have dealt with this, and old habits are hard to break, right? Especially with the guilt trip laid on us by society, religion, culture. You get me? So I ask people all the time, when was the first time you ever realized your mother, parent, grandma, whoever raised you, foster care, horrific, right? Whoever raised you, how old were you when you first realized that they were human, that they were not always right? They were not always correct, okay? So a lot of people throw out those scenarios and they're like, oh, but you couldn't say anything, right? How dare you, right? Because our parents are on that pedestal. Yeah, we want to love them and, being an adult, paying bills. Yeah, they might earn our respect. That's different than them dictating our whole life forever and ever and ever, right? They might dictate who you marry, who you're supposed to love, right? How many people out there in the LGBTQ plus community, right, were raised, and when you came out, you were scared to maybe come out that, oh, we're going to, you're maybe a gay male, and we're going to force you to, be ungay. We're going to force you to not be a lesbian, and you're going to date man. You will not be in this house. You get me? And it's hard because most humans, right, we want to feel loved. We want to feel appreciated. We want to feel, and part of that comes from when we're little itty bitty newborns, right? That's when it starts. We want to feel that love, that connection, and when it's guilt trip, when it's manipulated, it's very hard. But then it comes down to, what, do I deserve to live my life that way? Do I get to live my life a certain way? Do I get to love who I want to love outside of mom and dad? And, it's still, they'll come over, and when you, maybe listening, viewing, you're married, getting married, living together, have kids, right? And how many times, right, it turns into it's not your kid, your baby. It's your mom's baby, your grandma's baby, your aunt's baby, your sister's baby. You get me? You get me? Oh, you should do this. Don't do that. Don't do that. Hey, I appreciate your input. We got this. You know what? If we have any questions, I get it. It's new. If we have any questions, we'll ask, okay? So you can set those boundaries in place, people, because a lot of people will look at, oh, you always listen to your mom. It's always your mom. And this goes for men, women. It doesn't matter on the gender, okay? Everybody assumes it's this and that. No, it's every gender, okay? It's looking at, you need to put your mom in place. And it's about not only maybe dictating how you should parent your child, but also how you should run your house, how you should be a good husband, how you should be a good wife to my son. And the list can go on and on and on. And then the one partner, whoever is, the son or daughter of the mom, we'll use that as an excuse. I can't tell my mom that. How dare that? Oh, mom means well. And you hear all these excuses, and then they try to manipulate and water down the impact they have on their significant other. And that's where a lot of problems come in. And I told you, they're in my office, right? And like I said, if it's not a daily basis, this comes up every other day at least, where one person, is disrespectful to their husband, their wife, and it's allowed. And they get mad, you better not tell my mom anything. What? So you're allowing your mom, grandma, a family member, you're allowing them to disrespect me, and you want me to be okay with that. That tells me, you being my wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, that type of thing, that tells me you don't respect me. If you don't respect me enough to stand up for me, why are we together? And this comes to, it's hard because like I mentioned at the very beginning, okay, our heart and souls, they rip when we love somebody. There's a difference when we fully love somebody, and a healthy love to me is also that we don't sell out our self-love, our self-respect, right? There's a huge difference. That's a healthy love to me as a professional, what I promote, okay? We can still hold our own identity. We evolve and grow together. But if that doesn't happen and your partner, whoever it is, allows their mother, their family member to disrespect you, they don't say anything. They don't call their family member out because, oh, I can't do that to my mom. It's my mom, right? Or grandma, like I said. We'll just use mom. I don't want to use mom as a scapegoat, but we'll use that as an example, okay? I don't want to bash moms out there. But, and it could be dad, it could be whatever, the guilt trip, the whatever. But I'm going to be honest with you. If you don't call them out, you don't learn how to have self-love and self-respect in your own, and to, be maybe more loyal to your partner, and to show your partner respect and not allow your mom, family member, whoever, to disrespect them, that relationship is not going to last. I'm going to be honest. And if it lasts, it's not going to be connected. It's not going to be healthy. I'm going to be honest with people, okay? And you wonder why, oh, you want to leave me just because you feel disrespected by mom. And it's ironic because now your partner starts using the same guilt trips and manipulation tactics that their own mother or family member uses against you. You don't really love me then. What? No, I love me, and I'm not going to allow your family member or you to disrespect me. So I make it sound easy. It's not easy, not at all, people. And that's where I want people to understand, the family versus spousal loyalty. And there's a big difference, even with spouses, between being loyal and being indebted to somebody. I want to challenge you out there to look at, why are you allowing your mom or family member to disrespect you? Why are you allowing them to disrespect your person? I'm going to ask. And we could look at fear of them not liking you anymore, fear of them being mad at you, fear of them disowning you. And my question will be, I'm not saying it's easy, but do they deserve your love? Do they deserve your respect? Just asking. That's a big old question mark, okay? So there's a lot of people out there that's going to disagree with me. It's always my mom, always this. And a lot of religious I respect everybody's beliefs, but there's a lot of people, religion, it's religion. I'm supposed to always honor. No, you're not. I thought you're also supposed to cleave to your wife, cleave to your husband, right? I think that's in the Bible, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not religious. I just use these as examples, right? So there's a lot of people out there that will still be hardcore and be, almost like they are Velcro to a certain family member, and it becomes very unhealthy. It becomes unhealthy for a relationship, for you to have a relationship or a marriage going forward, okay? And it's like they should give me royalty if I mention it, or advertising fee, like Think Like a Man, right? Mama's Boy. If you watch it, you'll get me, right? We all have different, ideations. We have different examples of the mama's boy or daddy's girl or mama's girl, whatever, right? That's a prime example where he doesn't put mom in her place until Think Like a Man 2, okay? Well, I don't want to ruin it for you if you haven't seen it. But, mom is just disrespectful as hell. Rude, disrespectful, manipulative, guilt trip. It's textbook, right? And there are people like this, and they're wondering why you don't want to be with me because you're not putting your family member in their place. How dare you allow them to disrespect your partner? Now, I told you, it shouldn't be disrespected at all, but that loyalty becomes stronger and stronger as time goes on. Like I said, you go on one date and that person expects you to be more loyal to them, family member. Nah, they got to earn that respect. They got to earn that loyalty. I'm all about that. But after a certain amount of time, you have to look at, what your expectations are before you even get married. Because when I put on social media, check it out at LoveGuruGreg, I posted a video on, on this aspect, okay? About, are you able to put them in their place and not allow them to, live your own life and disrespect you? Because it's not going to last, okay? So I'm challenging you, look, what causes you to allow it? I get guilt, manipulation, maybe. I'm not you. I'm just throwing out examples. And to be able to look at, what can you do to stop it and heal it, okay? Well, my family will always be there for me. Maybe, maybe not, but on whose terms? Is it ever on your terms, or is it always on your family members' terms? You get me? So it's something to challenge, okay? And we know that. We know divorce rates. We know challenges in relationships, right? But if you don't stack the deck in your favor to build and evolve a strong relationship or marriage together, and it's, the outside world is second, and your home and relationship is first, that includes the kids. You get me? If you have kids, that type of situation too. Of course, it's a balancing act, but even with kids, you never lose that focus, and it's hard, of that relationship or marriage, okay? Step families is different. The kids were there before you. That's a whole nother episode, okay? So look at what it takes for you to put your family member in their place respectfully, okay? You be firm, you be direct. Hey, Mom, I love you. Hey, sis, I love you. This is my relationship, okay? That doesn't mean we're naive, gullible, if you will, that we, he was just mad and hit me once, and your family member finds out. They're going to be protective. I would too over my daughter. You get me? So, hey, whatever. And you know what? We want to make sure they're safe and happy. But ultimately, it comes down to your decision. So there's different situations where, we can listen to them. But again, it comes down to it's your life. And it's your job not to allow them to guilt trip you, manipulate you, and disrespect you, disrespect your relationship or marriage, or disrespect your partner, okay? So check out my website. It's down in the frame down below, theartofrelationships.org. I'd appreciate it. Like, follow, all over the place, all over social media, at LoveGuruGreg. And I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we do need a lot of peace, a lot of love in this country and in the world around us, because there is a lot of untruths promoted out there and a lot of support for bigotry, racism that should never be supported, not at all, just because of a label they place on them, base it on a certain religious belief, which tends to be the case. You have to look deeper, and there's a lot of confirmation bias out there. We need to wake up and stop, okay? Or religious party, right? So we need to stop, and we need to look at what is the reality, and it's not easy. I'm all about spreading love and peace out there, okay? Take care, everybody. Everybody, give each other a hug out there. Peace.